follow the law. The law says
Glorious. Is it a lawsuit? Probably. Why not?
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome back to Buckle Up. It's the Law with Attorney Larry Forman. Folks, today we are going to continue with Part 10. That's right, folks. We are now officially in the double digits. I foresee there may be at least 17, possibly 18 parts to this series once it is concluded. With the two other videos that we have done on Fraser so far, we're going to have about 20 videos up and running, ready for you all. You can watch it, you can binge it, you can watch it one at a time. Obviously, when this is premiering, it's kind of hard to binge, but don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel. Folks, this is day 2. Okay, we have done day 1. It took us about 9 episodes. And day 2 is a little bit shorter. It'll probably take us about 6, I would imagine, maybe 5 episodes to complete day number 2. And then we also have a very short day number 3 that is also going to be maybe 2 or 3 episodes over there. And to help me read through this, I have enlisted the help of Ari Jacob. Ari is the one who has introduced me to this case. She has been tweeting about it. And the reason why my ears perked up is because Alan Jackson is the attorney of record as of today. And this is being recorded in July 2025, right around the time when you're watching it in July of 2025. Fraser just had his arraignment postponed earlier this month, and his case is on for arraignment in August, and we're going to be following that very closely and hopefully getting our hands on some more materials to share with you all. So without further ado, I bring you Ari Jacob. How are you doing today, Ari?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. I understand that we have our next witness by the state on the chopping block.
Yes, this is going to be exciting because I think we're going to get details on the speed and whatnot.
The speed. So that has been a huge focal point in the Fraser Bohm case. Was he going 104? Was he going 70? Was he going something else, right?
Right. And the media really went with the 104 number.
Well, why do you think that is?
Well, I think they wanted him to sound like he was, doing speeding like in a crazy amount so that, they could point the finger just at him.
Exactly. It's kind of despicable to just be like, okay, this is what it is. This is what we're going to go with. And then just paint him as a monster and the rest be damned. Who cares, right? Let the public sort it out, or let the courts sort it out, or let the jury figure it out. It's extremely unprofessional, in my opinion.
Right, exactly. Especially when people have been complaining of this very dangerous highway for decades.
Yep, exactly. All right, so let's get started. Today, this is April 29th, 2025, day 2 of the preliminary hearing. On the direct examination, we're about to start with Robert Apodaca. He's going to be on the stand for a couple of episodes, maybe 2 or 3 episodes. And today, you will be playing the court once again, Ari. So please take us away.
The court called add-on number 2. This is Fraser Michael Bohm case, LA 1000189. May I have appearances of counsel, please?
Michael Crowd on behalf of Fraser Bohm, who is present before the court, out of custody, Your Honor.
Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Good morning. Nathan Bartos for the people.
Mr. Bartos, good morning to you, sir. Detective, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Just as a reminder to those in the audience, please no phones. I have allowed people to use laptops. There's been a special request, that reporters use laptops. That's fine, but no recording whatsoever, please. Mr. Bartos, sir, you may call your next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. The people call Deputy Apodaca to the stand.
Would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly state that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I am a pig, so no. I mean, yes. Sorry, it says yes.
Okay, thank you. Please have a seat in the witness stand. If you're just coming in, please have your phones off. Please, thank you. Sir, if you would pull the microphone closer to you and then state and spell your first and last name for the record. Robert Apodaca, Robertapodaca. Thank you. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Mr. Bartos?
Thank you. What is your occupation and assignment?
I'm a sheriff's deputy with LA County Sheriff's Department, and I'm assigned to traffic service detail
How long have you been a sworn peace officer?
for 18 years.
And how long have you been assigned to the traffic detail?
I've been working in the traffic capacity, traffic enforcement for 10 years, and traffic enforcement detail for 8.
And were you working on October 17th, 2023?
Yes, I was on call. I was the on-call investigator.
Okay. And so you said that you described yourself as an investigator. What does that mean?
Currently, with my assignment, I investigate all sheriff department related crashes where litigation or prosecution is involved. I assist with the stations in fatal crashes and anything where prosecution, where the state level needs expertise, they would call me.
You mentioned expertise. Do you have any specific background, training, or experience in the investigation of car collisions?
Yes, I have attended and passed the California Peace Officer Standards and training for basic, intermediate, advanced crash investigations. I have passed the POST certified reconstruction course. I've taken courses with internal police technology and management for vehicle versus pedestrian, vehicle versus motorcycle. I've taken standardized field sobriety tests and
It's real quick for our audience. So this guy, I can tell you right now, this is no joke. This guy is armed to the teeth, at least on paper. Now, I don't know how he is in practice. A lot of these cops, they may have all this additional training, but they may not know how to properly apply it. What I can say from experience is that this guy, not only is he a standardized field sobriety testing, I don't know if he's an instructor, but he's definitely been certified in them. He is a DRE, which stands for Drug Recognition Expert. And those are very, very lengthy. It's like a 9-week program. They send these guys off. You get basically, paid time off while you're training for 2.5 months. There's a very rigorous test at the end. And it's cops teaching other cops, so it's fake pseudoscience, but it's real stuff. They feel like doctors by the time they're done because they know how to draw blood, they check for muscle rigidity, they know how to check for pupil size. They can basically by examining you, these knuckleheads believe that they can determine what drug you're on just by looking at you and doing a few tests. They'll be like, this sounds like an upper, this sounds like a downer. I would say this is PCP or methamphetamine or whatever. So this guy, he's got the advanced crash investigation. He's a certified reconstructionist. He is no joke, at least on paper. So we'll see what this guy's capable of. Sorry, Ari, for interrupting you.
It sounds like you've had contentious cases with somebody that's trained this way.
Contentious case or cases?
Multiple. You've had multiple?
Oh, yes. These guys are a dime a dozen. But unfortunately, in Kentucky, they're actually very few. I think we're down to our last 60 DREs, drug recognition experts, for the entire state. Think about it. We have 120 counties. And we have, I think, less than 60 DREs remaining, and most of them are in Jefferson County. So there are most counties without a DRE. Jefferson probably has 15 or 20, and then the remaining 40 or so are scattered. And you'll just find them randomly.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. So for a DUI lawyer, these guys are like your toughest. If they're on scene, that's tough to fight them.
Oh no. They're really cocky. They're really overly confident. They think they know everything backwards and forwards. They feel like they're the smartest person in the room. And when you get on their level and you start asking them very specific questions, I have seen them crumble under pressure. I have done it. So I know
Well, it's your job, right?
It's part of my job, yes.
Yeah.
Not every lawyer.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because you kind of have to get into the psyche of that particular field. So that's super interesting.
Have you or someone you love been injured as a result of someone else's negligence? Or worse, lost a loved one because of it? I am attorney Larry Forman, and myself and my team of trial lawyers are ready to help you to get the absolute maximum compensation permissible under the law. We know the system. We understand how to win. Anywhere in the United States, 24 hours a day. 1-844-774-HURT. Call us. we can help.
I've taken courses with Northwestern University for vehicle dynamics, Crash Reconstruction 1 and Crash Reconstruction 2, as well as the Northwestern University course for vehicle motorcycle collisions, as well as on-the-job training through previous investigators that have been doing this before I was there.
And of the period of time that you have been part of the traffic investigation unit, how many crashes would you say that you have investigated?
I've investigated over 1,000 crashes, probably between 300 and 400 fatal crashes. Downloads, I've done probably 600, 700 of the event data recorder downloads.
I'm sorry, can I have that answer again, Your Honor? I couldn't hear.
Between 600 and 700 event data recorder downloads.
Let me ask you about that specifically. What is an event data report, or what are record downloads?
It's commonly known as like a black box for the vehicles. It's in airplanes, trains, cars. It was mandated for all of us, or for all U.S. manufactured cars in 2012 to have the event data recorder or black box. It's mainly designed for the auto manufacturers and auto engineers to make the car safer, but we use that information as well in our vehicle crashes.
So you describe it as a black box. What is it that this device actually does? What does it do?
It records data for the cars. Most of them will record.
Objection, foundation.
All right, sustained.
Motion to strike any answer.
All right, motion's granted. All right, hold on. Mr. Bartos?
Have you received any specific training as it relates to event data recorders, sir?
Correct. I've been certified as a technician from the Collision Safety Institute, which as a technician, I am certified to retrieve the data from the vehicle. There's multiple different ways to go about that. It depends on the damage to the vehicle. And I've also attended an analyst course through Collision Safety Institute for the reading of the data.
Okay. And have you actually seen these devices in person as well?
Yes.
The devices themselves, you've said that there is data. What data is it that you're taking off of these devices?
Every manufacturer has different parameters, but standard data would be...
Your Honor, I'm going to object to anything other than testifying about expertise, etc. as to the BMW, this make and model, because otherwise there's no relevance if he's talking about make and models of other vehicles.
Well, that may or may not be true, but I need to hear the answer, and I'm not sure if what he's going to testify to covers BMWs or not.
That's why I'm asking you if we can limit it to that. Otherwise, it's going to open up to every manufacturer, and that is not relevant here for this proceeding, Your Honor. So I would ask that the questions be limited to the expertise associated with BMWs. Otherwise, it is completely irrelevant to this proceeding.
Mr. Bartos, can you focus your questions, please?
Well, Your Honor, I can lay some more foundation.
If you can, please. Thank you, sir.
All right, I will do that. Detective Apodaca, the event data recorder that you described, is that contained in every type of vehicle manufactured in or present in the United States?
Every vehicle after 2012, not all motorcycles have it, but all automobiles would have it after 2012.
Okay, and that would include BMWs?
Correct.
And have you ever downloaded from a BMW vehicle prior to October 17th of 2023?
Yes.
Do you know approximately how many times?
Probably 15 to 20 BMWs.
And in those 15 to 20 times, were you able to retrieve the data from the BMWs?
Yes.
And were you able to essentially view the data in order to take a look at it?
Yes.
I'll get into some more questions about the BMW specifically, but talking about these 8 or so that you did, being able to see the information, were you then able to use the information to compare it against the known physical aspects of the collision that you were investigating?
Correct. The data is scientifically proven and validated. To corroborate that with each individual crash we do some type of math, whether that be reconstruction to corroborate the speed, or in this case, I did a principal direction of force calculation, which mirrored what the data shows.
I would love for Apodaca to have a sit down with Trooper Paul from the Karen Reed trial. That would be a very, very interesting conversation. Trooper Paul is going to be describing to Sheriff Apodaca, Deputy Apodaca, how from a 5 to 10 mile an hour collision, a body could fly through the air 30 feet to land in the snow. That would be fascinating to listen to.
That's funny.
And we'll get to the principal direction of force in just a moment, but now, still talking about generally, the data that you received from, and we'll limit it to BMWs at this point in time, what type of data are you receiving from the units?
From the units, BMW usually has a little bit more of the technology, so we'll receive speed, steering inputs.
Objection to we will receive, Your Honor.
All right, sustained. And Deputy, if you can just tell us what you received, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. I received speed, steering inputs, braking inputs, what type of crash it would have been, whether that be frontal impact, lateral, or rollover impact.
Is there any other type of information that's provided through the event data retrieval for BMWs?
Yes, they have the engine RPMs. There's a lot of data. I do not necessarily, not all of it is relevant for my analysis of the crash.
And in terms of how this information is generated, are you aware of where the information comes from?
So for the...
Objection. The question calls for a yes or no, Your Honor.
Sir, are you aware, yes or no? Yes.
Where does the data come from?
From the vehicle's airbag control module.
So it's coming from the airbag control module. Does the data require an airbag deployment in order to be present on the device?
No.
So the airbag control module, how is the information appearing in the control module?
So the event is marked either as non-deployment.
I'm sorry, are we talking about only BMWs?
Mr. Kraut, if there's an objection, just state your objection, please.
Objection. Relevance. Unless it's the BMW, and if I can make my record.
I would just rather you state your objection. If I need more information, I will ask from either counsel. So please, no more speaking objections, sir. The information that you're about to give us is this. Is this in relation to BMWs?
Correct.
All right, you may continue, please.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Can you repeat the question?
Certainly. So the airbag control module, you said, is what initiates the information, but what actually generates the information?
So the vehicle will record it either as a deployment or non-deployment event. BMW and in this vehicle will hold up to 5 events. If the change in velocity or the vehicle is significant enough to deploy an airbag, it will record it as a deployment event. And it will lock it in and it will not be able to be deleted. If it is not significant enough to deploy an airbag, but significant enough to wake up the system, it will record it as a non-deployment event. In that case, as long as there is not more than 5 events, it will not erase the non-deployment.
And the 5 events being the maximum, is there a period of time for the information that is recorded based on an event? Is it just since the start of the car, or how does that work?
Since the start of the car, and if the vehicle has a deployment event where the airbags are deployed, the module will have to be either reset or replaced for the new airbag to be put in.
So in terms of the recording of this information, is there any human interaction with the data prior to you downloading it?
No.
So could a driver do anything to change, alter the data by driving the vehicle?
You can add ignition cycles to the data, but that will not change the event itself. The event will be locked in. It will record it, that ignition cycle it was on when the deployment happened. You can add the cycles to the download, but it's not necessary. It's not going to change the event data.
So you said that you have, at least in BMW, done this how many times? 8 times?
Probably 10 to 15.
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
It was 15 to 20 earlier.
Yes.
Sir, do you know if it's been 10 to 15 or 15 to 20, your best estimate? Probably 15 to 20. Thank you.
In those other instances, were you able to utilize the data you obtained in order to determine the accuracy of that data versus what you physically saw from the vehicle that you downloaded the data from?
Yes.
And in those other instances, did the data appear to be accurate?
Yes.
Actually,
just the grounds for the objection, please.
Speculation on other data appears to be accurate. No foundation. It's in a vacuum, Judge.
Sir, what do you mean by the other data seem to be accurate? I've done reconstructions on speed on other crashes that have mirrored the event data recorder's download speed. So outside of the data itself, I've done math to work up the crash, and it's mirrored the data recorded by the vehicle.
Again, I'm going to object if I could. I know you don't want a speaking objection, Judge, but it will save us a lot of time, okay? This portion of the preliminary hearing is highly critical. And so you're probably going to hear a lot more objections from me about this, Judge. I want to make sure that the testimony given is solely the expertise as it relates to BMWs. So what he has just given you, if it doesn't, the mirroring and doing his calculations, etc., are unrelated to those tests being done on a BMW, it's irrelevant and highly prejudicial. And so I want to know of those now 15 to 20 BMWs, whatever that number is, if that's the answer, and how many. I don't want to wait until cross. I want to make sure that it's being done and limited for this purpose, Your Honor.
All right. Your objection is noted. Your objection is overruled. The response will remain. You'll have the ability to cross-examine the deputy. Mr. Bartos, next question, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Speaking about the last answer that you just gave, was that answer specific to BMW?
Correct.
Now, is that what you just discussed, the physical analysis versus viewing the data coming from a vehicle for all vehicles? Is it any different from all vehicles to BMW?
The process is the same.
The process is or is not?
Process is the same in analyzing the data and comparing the physical evidence to the data. The process is very similar, if not the same.
So I would now like to go to October 17th, 2023, around 9:01 p.m. Did you go to the area of 21,000, that block of Pacific Coastal Highway here in county of LA?
Yes, I did.
And why was it that you went to that location in the first place?
I was called out for the fatal investigation. I was advised that there were 4 pronounced dead at the time, and I was asked to bring our FARO scanner to scan and document the scene.
Okay, FARO. First off, how do you spell that?
FARO.
What is FARO?
FARO is a 3D laser scanner that we use it for measuring, surveying, and it will generate a 3D model of the scene.
And have you done that prior to October 17th?
Correct.
How many times would you say you've done that prior?
We received the FARO in 2020.
Objection.
Probably 8. Hold on, sir. When you say we, was that the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department? Correct. You may continue. Probably 80.
What is the purpose of using the FARO?
To document, memorialize, and have measurements of the scene.
And how does the FARO do that? Your Honor, no foundation of his training and expertise on that.
Sustained.
Have you received any background or training in the use of this FARO device, sir?
Yes, I'm certified to use the FARO scanner, and I am through FARO certified as an instructor to certify others in using the FARO scanner.
What is the purpose in terms of, in the days before FARO, how would you obtain measurements of a collision scene?
Prior to or in scenes that we do not use the scanner, I would use tape measures, rulers to measure the scene, plot out points, and then hand draw or in a computer draw a diagram based on my hand taken measurements.
Okay, and what does the FARO allow you to do?
The FARO will take measurements while scanning the scene. The biggest difference in FARO compared to the way we would do it is the FARO is millimeters accurate as opposed to us taking it with a ruler. We're looking at more half-inch to an inch accuracy if we're proficient in it. So it's just a lot more precise.
And does the FARO, if you didn't mention something back before the FARO, you wouldn't have access to that measurement after the scene had been cleaned up. Is that fair to say?
Correct.
Is that the same with using the FARO?
No, with a FARO, everything is captured and I can download the scans today, and anything that was in that scene is going to be there.
When you arrived on scene, did you observe any vehicles that appeared to be involved in a collision?
Yes.
What vehicles did you observe?
There was a silver vehicle on the driver's side door in the middle of PCH. There was a black vehicle with heavy front end damage. There was a red vehicle further up the street in the eastbound direction with damage to the rear driver's side wheel and wheel.
Your Honor, I have what has previously been marked as People's 14. May I approach?
Yes.
Deputy, I'm showing you what's been marked as People's 14. If you would take a moment and go through and review the photographs contained in People's 14, and then when you're done, please look up at me.
Okay.
Have you had the opportunity to review People's 14?
Yes.
And having reviewed all the pages, do you recognize the entirety of the packet?
Yes.
What do you recognize it to be?
It appears to be the scene as it was the night of, or that's the morning of after I had responded.
And does that appear to accurately reflect what you observed when you arrived on the scene?
Yes.
I just want to ask you a couple questions. We're looking at People's 14A. You mentioned a red vehicle. Is that the red vehicle you were discussing that we can see in People's 14A?
Correct. Sorry, sir, just to confirm, can you see it on the screen in front of you? Yes.
Based on the survey of the scene, was that the farthest, we'll say southeast, quote unquote, evidence of a collision that you could find?
Correct.
And now showing you People's 14D, you had mentioned a vehicle that was up on its side. Is that the vehicle that appears to be in the center median of PCH?
Correct.
Here I also have People's 16. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, and counsel can feel free to approach without leave.
Thank you, Judge. Deputy, if you can take a look at People's 16 and look at each page, and when you're done, please look up at me.
Okay.
You had an opportunity to view the photographs contained in People's 16?
Yes.
Do you recognize them?
Yes.
What do you recognize them to be?
Those appear to be the black car on the first picture on the left appears to be the last vehicle struck and the vehicle.
Your Honor, if there's a chance we can use the overhead on that so that when he's pointing things out.
Well, he wasn't pointing anything out, but Mr. Bartos, would you mind placing those photographs on the projector, sir? Thank you.
Showing you People's 16A. Do you recognize what's depicted in People's 16A?
Yes.
What do you recognize that to be?
The black vehicle on the left with the trunk open appears to be the last vehicle struck. The vehicle on the right is a vehicle that struck the red car, silver car, wall, and continued on.
Objection, foundation.
Sustained.
Motion to strike, Judge.
Granted.
All right. Let me go to People's 16B. So there appears to be a vehicle on People's 16B with its front end touching a mailbox. Do you see that?
Yes.
Do you recognize that from when you visited the scene on the evening of October 17th?
Yes.
And does that appear to be in the same condition as it was when you observed it?
Yes.
And what about the vehicle to the right of this photograph in People's 16B? Do you recognize that vehicle?
Yes.
And how do you recognize that vehicle?
It's the vehicle that was in the same location the night I was out there.
And does it appear to be in the same condition as when you first observed it?
Yes.
You've now discussed 4 vehicles. Did you create a map of the area of the collision?
Yes, I did.
I have a single page diagram. I would ask to mark this as People's 19.
Yes.
It is marked for identification. Detective Apodaca, I'm showing you what's been marked as People's 19 for identification. Do you recognize what's depicted in People's 19?
Yes, I created that.
And what does it show?
This shows a 2-dimensional diagram of the scene as it was the night of my investigation.
And in terms of the 4 vehicles that we just discussed, are the 4 vehicles represented on this diagram?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start from right to left. Along the curb, there appears to be a red vehicle. What does this represent?
This is the Mazda that was struck in the driver's side rear wheel.
And then moving forward, there appears to be a vehicle parallel with the roadway. What does that represent?
Our primary vehicle.
And do you know what kind of vehicle that was?
The BMW.
And then there is an angled, slightly forward from that, another dark vehicle. What does that vehicle represent?
That was the last vehicle struck.
And then is the gray vehicle you described represented on this?
Yes, it looks white on the picture, but yes, it's there. Number 3.
Number 3. I'm going to zoom in so we can see that. This is number 3. Is this what you're referring to?
Correct.
So there's a dot with a line and then below the number 3.
I think the dot is the actual tire, but yes.
I see. So in terms of this scene, first off, was this scene entirely within LA County?
Yes.
You said that you had used Faro for measurements. Are you able to tell us what the distance from the red vehicle, the one that you said was the Mazda that was struck, to where the gray vehicle ended, the approximate distance to this entire scene?
The distance of the entire scene was approximately 225 feet.
The vehicle that was up on its side, the gray vehicle, did you observe anything in relation to any markings on the roadway that appears to be associated with that vehicle?
Yes, there was gouge marks coming from the north curb line towards the vehicle.
And would you tell us approximately how long these gouge marks were?
Those gouge marks were approximately 83 feet.
You had mentioned in the past doing event data record downloads. Did you do that in this case?
Yes, for our primary vehicle.
And the primary vehicle, what kind of vehicle is it?
The BMW.
And where did that occur?
That occurred at Roy's tow yard.
And that's at 1344 East Thousand Oak Boulevard?
That's correct.
And what day did you do that?
That sounds correct. Sorry. That sounds correct.
And what day did you do that?
The Saturday after the crash, which I believe was the 21st.
So in terms of physically what you did to do a download, what did you do?
We photographed the vehicle.
Objection.
I photographed the vehicle.
Objection, Judge. Pursuant to Vehicle Code Section 9951C, to be specific, a recording device may not be downloaded or otherwise retrieved by a person other than the registered owner of the motor vehicle. There's no evidence that this deputy is the registered owner of the BMW.
One moment, please. Mr. Bartos, any response, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. I can lay some foundation that this was pursuant to a search warrant.
All right.
If counsel has a search warrant, Judge, I would need to see that. I don't have a copy.
All right. And just for the record, that would be an exception under C2 of that section.
May I just have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
Okay, so we're getting a foundation. Obviously, we haven't gotten to the real meat of what the deputy has found, but we're now getting the foundation laid by the government. This is the deputy that extracted the black box data from Bohm's BMW.
Yeah. So this is important, right?
Mm-hmm. This is going to be extremely crucial. And this is a guy who has done hundreds of fatalities and over 1,000 actual accidents. And I'm really, I don't want to hold my breath or nothing crazy with these cops, because you never know what they might say or what they might do. But at the end of the day, I really do have high hopes for this guy. I have a feeling that he is going to provide us with some information that, whether it's accurate or not is a different question, but has he physically gone in and extracted it, and he's going to present it as unabated and as unfiltered as it came in? I think so. That's my opinion.
I think he sounds credible so far, and he's not like giving really any attitude or anything. Like, it does. I mean, so far he just sounds like somebody that's doing his job.
He seems quite neutral. Again, maybe seeing him in person, hearing his tone, we would be able to have a better idea of where he might stand. But as far as I'm concerned, he seems to be all right. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I mean, I think so far it's like, okay, I want to know about. So the black box data, it's interesting. Do you know why they put that in 2012? And it wasn't meant to be like, when did they start using that in court cases? Because that's like new thing that we've all heard, I guess, in the Karen Reed trial and stuff like that.
Right, because black boxes are usually on airplanes.
Right.
There's an airplane crash to kind of go back and figure out what happened and how the plane ended up crashing. Putting black box in vehicles seems like it's serving the same purpose. If the only person who may be available to testify as to what happened is deceased in the car accident, let's say they crashed and, offed themselves on accident or whatever, you can now access the black box data to kind of figure out, like, what was their last movement? Did they accelerate? Did they brake, before they struck whatever they struck, or lost control or spun out and flipped into a ravine, flipped over, flipped upside down, whatever it may be.
They can't measure it though, unless there's like a, what do you call it? Like a non, like basically unless the airbags come out, or it does it if like it hits something significantly.
There's got to be a triggering event. Yeah, the black box is not going to begin a recording session based on his testimony and based on my own personal knowledge of these things, and which is extremely limited, by the way, just so you know. I don't normally deal with fatalities, although I have represented people in the past and currently have clients that have had fatalities in both the civil arena and the criminal arena, so I do have some experience, although not extensive. I will say that these black boxes, and this is what I'm preparing myself for, and I think Kraut is going to lay into this guy. He's going to start asking questions like, so these things are not reliable if XYZ. They could give you error messages if ABC. That's what I'm gearing myself up for in our next episode.
I didn't watch, I guess maybe I didn't watch those particular parts in the Karen Reed trial, but did her, when her taillight broke, was that a triggering event?
No.
Is that it wasn't? Okay.
There was absolutely no black box discussion in that trial because
there wasn't. Okay, that's why
there was no triggering event because it never happened. The little bump that happened in her own backyard when she bumped into another vehicle is how the taillight broke. Is what.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So they're not even, unless there's an accident, they're not able to get the speeds on the other people involved. So that's interesting.
In the Karen Reed case, there was no accident. That's the key.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know that. But in this case, like, I was thinking, like, could they get data on like how fast the other guy, Victor Calandra, was going, or anybody else? And I guess they can't unless they had speed cameras, which I don't think they have.
Unless you have one of those devices. Do you remember? I know Progressive kind of started this trend, and I think there are more insurance companies jumping on this. I forget what it's called. It'll come to me in a minute. Snapshot. Remember those? It's a little thing you plug into your car. Now they have them on the phone. Now there's like an app. You don't even need the snapshot.
Oh yeah,
anymore.
I have a friend. I used to manage this kid, Adam, and his mom. Like, she had it on his phone, and she'd be like, "Adam's speeding 5 over the limit right now. I'm gonna text him, or I'm gonna call him."
Oh my god!
I'm like, dang, that's pretty good. But
it's
Adam
so creepy though. Like, do you really want your mom up in your business like that?
Well, Adam took her car when he was like 13 or 14 and put some books on the bottom so he could drive it and crash into a tree. So.
Oh God. Okay, fair enough. All right.
Yeah,
okay,
I think he deserved it.
Okay, I did not know that. That's a reason for sure.
Yeah, so that was fair on my, but it was just, I guess I don't know, I might do that to my kid if if I was worried about his driving. I mean,
Yeah.
now based on this, it's like, if I had a kid, I'm going to be very concerned about his speed if he's a speed racer. But it's another thing to think about that, a lot of teenage boys, when they get their car and then, they're like, what, 16, 17, 18, like, they're a lot of guys probably speed, Yeah. Don't you think a lot of teenage boys, when they get their cars, they probably speed with them, especially on an M5.
Especially on an M5, yeah.
Right.
So I guess we'll see. We'll see where this deputy takes us. I'm really excited for our next episode because we're probably going to get a little bit of cross-examination, but maybe not a whole lot. But definitely over the next 2 episodes, we're going to conclude this guy.
Okay, awesome.
And then we have a few more witnesses after that. So Ari, where can my people find you?
I am Little Miss Jacob everywhere. You can go to littlemissjacob.com and you can get my merch on Amazon. I got all sorts of like fun sweatshirts and stuff. And then,
is that the one that you're wearing right now?
Yeah.
What does that say?
Citizen journalist, because truth matters.
Citizen journalist, because truth matters. I love that. I love it.
So yeah, thank you. And then I'm influences on YouTube, and a lot of your followers are coming on my channel. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. And I'm going to start doing some videos recapping the stuff that we're reading and things like that, and checking out what the media is saying, putting it side by side.
Nice. Oh, is that new? Is that coming up?
Well, yeah, I'm just like putting basically what we finally read was in these documents and what the media is saying. So it's fun to catch the media in lies. So
always fun, because they are. I think I told you this. Maybe I didn't, and if I didn't, I'll tell you now. I covered a hearing. I think I may have told you previously, but I'll say it again anyway. My audience will appreciate this. I have a video on my channel that I covered of my former partner getting held in contempt by a judge right here in town. Right here. I
watched it.
You watched it?
Yeah.
Did you watch the media news story on it? They
didn't cover the end.
They didn't cover the end.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
They know what they're doing. It's actually, it's so interesting because I know we talked before and you're like, what is getting canceled? And, a lot of people have told me just move on from it. And so I moved on from like whatever happened with me in the New York Times. But what I learned was this kind of like spidey senses with the media, which I feel like is such a valuable thing to like share, because I'm not an attorney, right? But what I know about is like how the media twists things, and then also all their little like kind of political or elite relationships, and why they're so biased, and why they get away with things. Sometimes people on the outside, they just don't see like what is the connection between city of Malibu and the Malibu Times, or
right.
but there is one, of course, right? And so it's always interesting to find out like what is the why are they carrying favor to one party over the other, or why do they want to take somebody out versus somebody else? So that's what I like to dig in on my channel, is kind of figure out why the media is doing what they're doing, if they're lying and getting away with it. So
for sure. Ari, I wanted to thank you for coming. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been great. We'll do this again.
Yes.
Okay. All right, folks. On that note, I wanted to thank you all for watching. Thank you all for joining. Don't forget to like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit that notification bell so that you get notified as we continue extrapolating and expanding on this series. Like I said, we are more than halfway done, and there is still so much more to go. We're going to finish out the preliminary hearing, and then, of course, we're going to continue analyzing this case as it comes up, and other stories that may come up in the interim. I know some of you have been sending me emails, and I do apologize. I cannot possibly cover everything. Every new case that you send me to look at and cover and review means an entire case that I have to unpack, because I don't like to half-ass and produce, half-produced videos. I like to be informed. I like to be knowledgeable. I like to be able to inform you all. So as much as I appreciate you sending me your cases and articles for me to cover, unfortunately, I'm going to be very selective. So please do not feel offended if I don't cover the case that you send me to my inbox. But, if you feel that this is something that is significant enough to where it is going to garner national attention and people should be paying attention to it nationally, those are the cases that I'm going to be covering, such as Karen Reed, Johnny Depp, Alec Murdaugh, and now we got Fraser Bohm. I think this one is definitely going to capture the hearts and minds, for better or for worse, of America. And remember, we are not trying to claim complete and utter innocence. There's obviously at least negligent, maybe reckless culpability, which is not criminal, but he can be charged criminally with manslaughter. But murder? Oh no. I don't know. It's starting to smell, and it's starting to smell even more. We'll find out more as we continue this series. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.